Monitor it if it's ready. Right?
Father, we do know, Lord, let this word that we hear, let it fashion our.
We might not deduce, if the person is speaking from the place of pride, we might not deduce it. But from this teaching this evening, we will be able to know from a place of pride. Let's quickly see Psalm 12, verse 3. Psalm 12 and verse 3. If you see it, you can read. The book of Psalms 12 and verse 3. I read. Okay, sir. Yes. Proud things. The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things. The tongue that speaketh proud things. There are a lot of people who the only thing that comes out of their mouth is proud speaking. Everything they talk about, when you see them talk, they talk in a boastful manner. And today, this topic in particular has 15 subtopics with which we will know when someone is speaking out of pride or not. But we'll see how far we can go before the end of the study today. Now, what does it mean to have a tongue that speaks proud things? What does it mean to have a tongue that speaks proud things? So it means you have a mouth that is rude, arrogant, and full of pride. There are remarks that are made by proud people which every leader must notice. Pride is revealed when people speak. When you hear certain comments, you must ask yourself, what have I just heard? There are some people that will speak and instantly you'll be like, why is this coming out from this person? Was it last week? Or maybe last week or last 2 weeks? I went to pick up my children from the school. The whole place was rowdy. You know, when school closes like this, a lot of parents are there, cars are parked, Okada, bike men, everybody, children are just everywhere at the front of the school. And when I got there, I met a confrontation between one of the parents that drove down to pick up a child and a bike man that I believe also came to pick up a child. And the man that drove the car was very aggressive. All that was coming out from his mouth was, do you know who I am? Do you know me? I will deal with you. I will hide you for the time. I will do this one. All those speaking is from where? A place of pride. Do you know who I am? Who are you? Who are you? Even the most wealthy men in this world, they don't use those kind of statements. Do you know who I am? If you see the way he was talking to this bike man, the bike man just stood there. I believe the bike man, it's not like the bike man cannot confront him, but maybe he's looking at his own status and he was intimidated and he just chopped. Or maybe he's a believer that does not want to get involved in things like that. But from the way this man was speaking, everything about him was just showing what? Pride. And that should not come out from the lips of a believer. So in this section, like I said, we'll be looking at 15 types of proud speaking. Number one, overconfident declarations. Number one, overconfident declaration. Let's see John chapter 19, 9 to 11. John chapter 19, 9 to 11. Okay, I read. He said, and went again into the judgment hall and said unto Jesus, whence art thou? But Jesus gave him no answer. Then said Pilate unto him, speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee, and have power to release thee? Jesus answered, thou couldest have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore, he that delivereth me unto thee hath greater sin. What was Pilate saying there? In verses 10, he said, knowest thou not that I have the power to crucify thee, and have power to release thee? That is overconfidence. He said to Jesus, I have the power to crucify you. I have the power to release you. I can do whatever I like with your life right now. Speak to me. Because all the power to crucify you is in my hands. The power to release you is in my hands. What did Jesus tell him? Jesus told him, Jesus said in verse 11, he said, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given. A lot of people speak out of overconfidence, thinking that they are where they are by their own doing, by their own power. That's what they think. When you hear such statements from people, just on your own, you will know that this person is speaking from the place of pride. He said, watch out for people who make these overconfident declarations about who they are and what they can do. About who they are and what they can do. I was watching a drama this evening before we came, and two people were having an altercation, and one of them said, as we are here right now, I can kill you, and even the police will not ask me questions. He's speaking out of a place of what? Pride. He said, I can kill you, and nobody will ask me any question. But even if nobody asks him any question here on earth, the one who is above will ask him questions. Because even when Cain killed Abel, there were questions for him to do what? To answer. So we should avoid making statements that breeds what? Pride, that breeds overconfidence, that oozes confidence, that oozes self-confidence. He said all the abilities that you have are actually God-given talents and abilities. You must be careful to acknowledge this reality. Any declaration that leaves out or forget the divine factor is an overconfident declaration of pride. Sometimes you do something and the people are yelling and say, you don't know what I did. Now me the runner now, now me do one. Do you have the power to do anything? If God has not given you the power, do you really have the power to do anything? No. Because actually you are not the owner of your life. You don't decide. If the one who is above, God Almighty, requires your life from you this minute, do you think you'll be able to escape it? No. So why make such unnecessary statements? And he said some years ago, I had a pastor leaving the pastoral staff. Among the many things he said was one outstanding statement. He said, I will show you church growth in 6 months. In other words, I will show you how I can make a church grow very quickly in 6 months. Does he have the power to grow the church in 6 months? Does he really have the power? No. He said, I will show you how to run church. This is what happened. He said a pastor was leaving his church and the guy was making some statements. And what did he say? He said, I will show you how to do what? how to run church. I will show you so within 6 months. I want to do my own. Within 6 months, you will see the way everywhere go full with people. What is that thing that is giving you too much confidence? What is that thing that is giving you too much confidence? Such a pastor, because firstly, one who is humble, who is living in humility, will not make that statement. That one knows that his going is depending on God. Now, the one that is making such a statement, maybe he has one or two. He get one thing when he want to put for God, or he want to bury for the church. Then after within 6 months, everywhere will free. You come back on the ground. We should not be boastful, no matter what. We should remember, he said that was indeed an overconfident declaration. But dear friends, remember the scripture where Paul said, I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. I planted, Apollos watered, but who gave the increase? That is why every day we pray for what? 1,000 souls, because we know He is the source of what? Increase. He is the source of increase. But the one that is going around and saying, I will show you, I will do this, I will do that, that one is not speaking from a place of humility. Rather, is speaking from a place of pride. Number 2, comments that forget the grace of God. Comments that forget what? The grace of God. Watch out for people who speak as though they accomplish all that they do without God's grace. Do not describe God's gift to you as though they were your own achievements. You just did this, you just achieved this. My brother, now so. Now we dey run the town. Now we dey run the town. You don't know me. You don't know why I do. Oh, you just did one good thing in the church. That person is saying, "Amina." It's not to say it's by the grace of God. So many people have abandoned the place of the grace, and what they are walking in, what they are doing, what they are working on is what? Self-pride. What was this they appreciate themselves, they elevate themselves, they use statements, and they use statements to place themselves where they are supposed to place God. It is not supposed to be like that. He said one day at a meeting, pastors were being urged to go out on visitation. A lady stood up and encouraged everyone to fulfill the Great Commission. Suddenly, a brother blurted out from the back, "You don't have a husband or a child. That is why you are urging us to go out on evangelism." Now, this is what happened. This is what happened. The church, they are organizing evangelism. In the workers' meeting also, the pastor was urging them that they should come out for evangelism, and a particular lady was urging them to join everybody. Maybe the lady just stood up out of her passion for Christ, her passion for evangelism. She was encouraging them, everybody, to come out for evangelism. And one brother, just out of sarcasm, out of pride, just made one nonsense statement to the lady. He said, "You are not married, you don't have a husband, you don't have children, so you don't get anything to bother about. Why you don't say for evangelism every day? You will not marry and get children, and like, wow. Do you know the plan of God for that person? Are you in God's plan? Do you know the agenda of God for that person? Because you are married, you think the world has ended. People get married and they divorce. People give birth to children and children die. So what is your achievement in marriage that you are using it to rub off on the face of people? What is your achievement? Is it by your power? And he made such a statement. In the house of God. Not in the shrine, brothers that are supposed to encourage each other is now using statements that will make a person feel down and make a person feel bad. Is it supposed to be like that? No. So when you hear somebody making statements, making it feel like their achievement is of their own power and not of the grace of God, just know that that person is speaking from a place of what? Pride. The moment you start to feel like your achievement, everything that you have achieved is by your power, pride has set in. He said that was an unfortunate comment by someone who had a spouse and a child. Let's see 1 Corinthians 4 verse 7. 1 Corinthians 4 in verse 7. I read, for who maketh thee to differ from another? And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? Now, if thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory as if thou hast not received it? Who made you different from another? The things that you think you have, say you received it from God. If you received it from God, this is what he's saying. If you received it from God, then why are you taking the glory? Why are you taking the glory as if you did not receive it from who? From God. The way some of us live our life without ascribing glory to God, it might get to a point where even those things that we think we have will start to lose it. Because there will be no covering over us for those things that we have received from who? From God. So when you hear somebody making statements and saying things that he is not supposed to say, and saying things that bring the glory to himself rather than ascribing the glory to God, you should note that that person is speaking from the place of pride. Number 3, high sounding statements. High sounding statements. Like I said, we are looking at 15 types of proud speaking. 15 types. We have looked at the number 1, overconfident declarations. Number 2, comments that forget the grace of God. Now we're looking at number 3, high sounding statements. Daniel chapter 5, 22 to 23. Daniel 5, 22 to 23. Quickly. Daniel chapter 5, 22 to 23. If you see it, you can read also. You see there, the middle part of the verse 23, he said, thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, and wood, and stone. Instead of it, statements, praises that you're supposed to give to God, Belshazzar was giving it to gods of stones, gods of silver. There are some things that Peter said there are people who make high-sounding statements. These high-sounding statements reveal a well of pride. When Belshazzar praised the gods of gold and silver, he revealed an arrogance that deserved the coming punishment. He declared that his sustenance came from the gold and the silver and the wood and the stone. He did not want or need the living God. He said, a young man said to me once, do you know how much I earn? I can never pay tithes. Do you know how much I earn? You know, he's making that statement. You know why? Because he has looked at it that the level he has got into life, God was not the one that took him there. He was speaking from a place of complete arrogance. So do you know how much I earn? I can never pay tithe. What am I doing with your God? It's not God that brought me here. That's what he's saying. I can never pay tithe. Do you know how much I earn? How much do you earn that people don't even earn above that? How much do you actually earn? How much do you make? That people, some people make millions in a day. Legit, oh, not cutting corners. People make millions in a day. A day.
One time, one of our youth, let's remember, anything wanted the guy would not say, now the baby.
Do you know how much they pay me? How much do they pay me? Do you know how much do they pay you? How much do they pay you? I remember one man back then. The man is late now. That man was working abroad. His company that was working is abroad, not in Nigeria. Oil company. So he goes 2 weeks abroad, 2 weeks in Nigeria. I'm about one big car. If you see that car, very fine, expensive car. He just came to me upstairs. He said, "Come, I want to eat something." I said, "Oh, God, what do you want to do?" He said, "Follow me." I follow. I go downstairs. Follow. I go outside of the office. If you see the car, I said the guy is big car. He said, "You know how much of this car? You know how much I spent to buy this car?" You know that? I said, "Jesus." I got a praise. I said, "Oh God don't try for you." I said, "The guy they spread." I said, "They do." I said, I think it was that same month that he died. That same month also. He don't drive the car till he died, leave the motor. You understand? But he was speaking, he was so proud in the statement. He was making pride. I was just looking at him that day. What everything that you own is from God. Some of us, when people start to see, it is not a bad thing for people to appreciate you. I don't want to use the word praise. To appreciate your work, to appreciate your effort, it's not a bad thing. But don't take the place of God. Don't start to say, and I'm me. Why don't you just say we give God glory? We thank God. We thank God. To avoid some things that the devil might be trying to chip in from the place of where? Of pride. He said he was so full of his achievements and his successes that he boasted that he would never pay tithe. He found out later, though, that it was God who had given him the strength to earn so much money. Do you know how he found out? Don't let it get to that point. Let's go further. He said he became terminally ill. After I don't make boastful statements, I can let how much I get. And you know where I did for you know what that one is your God. Why would I pay tithe? Suddenly, terminal illness comes. I said, and he came to my office and declared his readiness to pay tithe. Don't wait till it's too late. When after all the pride and arrogance, he was humbled. And he said, "Pastor, I'm now ready to do what? To pay my tithe." He said one day we approached a newly appointed government official. I needed to see him about something important. When he got the message, what that we needed to see him, he blotted out, "My oh my, this post that I have been given, these pastors are worrying me every day because I have been given this position." Somebody that they knew, the person now became a government official. They wanted to go and see the person. The person, when they tell the person, say, "Our pastors, they are around to see you." All these pastors don't come again because of this money they won't cut it. You did not even bother to listen to what they have come to say. These are high sounding statements. You are placing yourself too high that some people cannot even see you, some people cannot even meet you. Such statements should not be coming out from the mouth of believers. Number 4, statements that reject and refuse instructions. Statements that reject and refuse instructions. Numbers 16 verse 12. Numbers 16 verse 12. You see it, you can quickly read. Numbers 16 12.
Moses sent to call Dathan, Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, "We will not go up."
There was in the camp of the Israelites, there was some, should I call it beef? Dathan, Abiram, and Korah. These three men ganged up against who? Against Moses. And you know what funny thing? These men, they were men that were close to I call Moses a prophet, the leader, because they were Levites. They were not just floor members. Do you know what they were saying? He said, "Why Moses? But then only Moses and God they speak to. But then only Moses they feel like saying only nine holy pass for this congregation. They don't want to take instruction from Moses again." Moses now called them. Moses called them for their own good. So this path that you people are taking is dangerous. When I go die for this thing, when I put myself, come let us. Moses was even very lenient. He said, "Come, let us sit down like men, like brothers. Let us discuss this thing. Maybe you people want me to assign 1 or 2 things to you people. Let me see if maybe I can even chip in 1 or 2 commitments into your hands. Come, let us sit down and discuss. Let us have a dialogue." You know what they said? He said, "We know they come." Very, very blunt. He said, "We are not coming." But you know what? In the end, what happened? The ground opened up and swallowed them. He said, "Watch out for people who abruptly reject and refuse instructions." Moses encountered proud people who told him flatly, "We will not come." These people did not end up well because pride comes before a fall. They were soon swallowed up by the ground. Such is the fate of those who lift themselves up haughtily. Pride comes before a fall. You were called by the pastor. "Oh, this thing that you are doing, come, I want to see you." Pastor, not the call. Nobody can talk to you. See, if you are angry, no matter your anger, there are people that can still call you. I will tell you, my friend, you don't do. And you will do what? You calm down. But if you have gotten to the point where they tell you, this pastor tell you, you don't do. I'm not a I'm not a not come. Pastor call you, come and see. This your This your husband and wife. Now call it out. Come. I beg. I know they come. This one. I know they come. One day, you go see what you go make you wrong. Come, and that pastor not go there around. You go see what you go make you wrong. You go run with your 2 legs. And if you not go run naked before your house, when you see something, you go run. And that time, pastor no go. You go carry your cross by yourself. He said, I once sent a pastor out as a missionary. When he came back from his mission, I called for an extraordinary meeting and asked him to come to the office. This pastor was so irritated by my request that he sent me a message through the person I had sent to call him. His message was simple: I will not come for your meeting. You can do what you want. I will not come. And he asked the question, does this sound familiar? Indeed, it sounds just like Korah and his friends in the book of Numbers. He said, as our church developed, we organized special assessments and accountability conferences for all pastors and leaders in sections of the church. The meetings were characterized by healthy debates, questioning and probing of the different pastors as to whether they were doing their work well or not. Different organizations operate with different models, and what they were doing, maybe they do it monthly or they do it quarterly. For example, in my office, we have weekly review, we have monthly review, we have quarterly review, and we have year-ending review. I think it's the same format that they were adopting. Occasionally, from time to time, maybe every month, they call all the pastors together with maybe some of the leaders of the church, of the different branches also, and they sit down in a meeting. And what do they do in the meeting? They discuss how the church is being run. Maybe your branch, they will ask you, how is it going down over there? What's the challenges, the growth of the church? This ask you some questions. Why is this department not growing? Why is this? This was what we heard from your branch. What is happening? It is, we call it MPR in my office, monthly performance review. They'll call you, how is your business going? What have you done? What have you brought in? What are you bringing in? Who is this customer? Who is this and who is that? You give account. Now, he did a similar thing in his church. Oh, this guy went for missionary. All the pastors should come. I want to see the pastors. Let us have this particular review of the activities of the pastors. And what did this guy say? He said, I will not come for your meeting. You can do what you want. I will not come. That was just what Korah did. Korah and his friends. When you hear statements like that, you should note that that person is speaking from the place of pride. He's speaking from the place of pride. He said, as pastors become proud, they become more independent. I remember one pastor who said, we now have our own diocese. We will not go to the headquarters for meeting. And not did that now headquarters again. See, we are not there now. Not in the same church. Headquarters say, okay, make everybody come. If you stand up, say, now Jolu branch now dey and not get any connection with headquarters, and you be leader for the church. You are a leader, you are a pastor, you are a deacon, you are a deaconess, you are an evangelist. You are making such a statement. It is a statement that is from a place of pride. You are rejecting and you are refusing the instructions, just like Korah, Abira, and Dathan. And we know how those people ended. What happened? The ground opened up and did what? Follow them. Let us not reject authority and reject instruction. Open up and swallow people. We have to be very careful. Number 5. Illegitimate rebuke of authority. Numbers 16:3 and 4. Numbers 16:3 and 4. We'll close today with this number 5. That same book of Numbers said, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Yet take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy. every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Therefore, then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. And then Moses heard it and fell upon his face. Imagine the audacity. They were rebuking the authority of Moses. They say, all of us now only now. Why you dey place yourself above everybody? Pastor only pass me. Pastor only pass me. Why you go dey place yourself above everybody? You go dey do like say na only now only pass. Ma? Illegitimate. Okay, number 5, illegitimate rebuke of authorities. Illegitimate rebuke of authorities. You see what these men were doing there? They told Moses, not only you holy, not only you holy for this place, all of us holy. Not because we want to speak in tongues, or not because we want to preach water, or not because we want to see vision, or not because we want to give word of knowledge. Not only you sabi preach. When Moses heard, Moses shocked, he fell on his face. But I don't understand what gave this man his mind. This is a man that stretched forth his rod and ocean parted into two. What do you need again to fear this man? You have seen this man, he has done all God has used him to do all manners of miracles, diverse miracles, and still you question his authority. He said, watch out for people who rebuke spiritual authorities. It is a dangerous practice and sign of loftiness, haughtiness, arrogance, and pride. The sons of Korah rose up and rebuked Moses. They accused him of being puffed up. Imagine that. Imagine telling Moses that he feels too big. Then they rebuked him for having too much power in the camp of Israel. They also pointed out to him that he was not the only or special person in Israel. In their presentation, they made it clear that other people in the congregation were holy. To be holy means to be special. Imagine that. There are always people who are ready and willing to rebuke spiritual authorities. There are politicians who lift up themselves and speak disparagingly about God's servants. There are pastors who rise up and point out faults of the experienced spiritual fathers of the day. Watch out for those who can fearlessly rebuke those who have laid the foundations of the church. And there are many in Nigeria. There are many in this country. People don't have regard for pastors anymore. People speak anyhow to pastors. People rebuke pastors openly. People say all manner of things to pastors. Was it last week or last week? Last upper Friday, not this past Friday. I went with Pastor Peter to JC to go and check their instrument, which was faulty. So when I got there, we forgot the battery of the mic. So I had to wait for him. He had to drive back to Saplet to pick the battery. So I was waiting. It was taking too long. Then when he finally came, I saw him was looking down. I said, Pastor, what happened? He said, don't mind that. All those Agberu. So when we were coming, the both of us, police stopped us. We just told them we are pastors. And they just said, pass. So when he was coming back, Agberu now saw him on the way. He now said, I am a pastor. I'm going to church. He said, come down. And pastor will worship. Pastor want to shop money. Pastor want to do this one. All the pastor want to do this one. He said not the small thing he use here. They said all manner of things. And he felt very bad. I was telling him, I said, Pastor, not the small prayer, Pastor Peter had pray. He said, Dama. I said, Pastor, you don't do now. He said, for him to speak against Pastor. I said, Pastor, he prayed fire for the man till we reach something. We go dey talk another discussion. Once we go shout that man as a pastor, leave this man. But of the truth, the man don't match line. He don't match line. There are some things that you're not supposed to say. Even if he dey inside your belly, just swallow that. Just leave him before you go incur wetin you know. You don't buy market. You don't buy market because I saw the anger in the face of Pastor Peter, and he was saying, praying. I said, Pastor, I beg now. He don't do. He said, even police allow us pass at the road. I said, hey, Pastor, I beg. And there are people like that. That one might even be an unbeliever, but you know that there are still people in the church who rebukes the pastor, who say all manner of things against the pastor. He said, on one occasion, I visited a friend who was a minister of the gospel. I went along with the spiritual father, who was also a father to the minister I was visiting. This minister of the gospel was living in error and was struggling under the weight of many wrong decisions he had taken. It was only because of the Lord. It was only because the Lord had directed me that I had decided to offer my help. The spiritual father I had gone along with also began to counsel this brother who was steeped in error. I thought that the presence of this spiritual father would make all the difference to this meeting, but I was wrong. To my utter amazement, the gentleman began to shout, who do you think you are? What do you mean by coming to my house to talk to me like this? What do you mean by coming to my house without prior notice? Why didn't you give me notice that you were coming here? And he said, get out of my house. Next time you are coming to my house, come with more sense. Imagine what he's saying to his spiritual father. He's a pastor. He's living in error, living in sin. This man noticed it, went to the spiritual father of this man, told him, they all noticed it, and they said, okay, let us go and speak to him privately. Let us go and help this man. They got to his house, they were talking to him, and he started to shout at them, shouting at your spiritual father. Say, may your spiritual father call you before he come. Why did you not call me? I don't understand. Why did you not call me before you come? And the next thing he said, get out of my house. You're speaking to your spiritual father in that manner. Say, get out of my house. Say, next time when you come my house, that's nonsense. So what are you saying? The two grown-up men, they are fools. That is somebody that is using his hand to dig his own grave. He's using his hand to dig his what? His own grave. Let's even remove that is his spiritual father. I believe the man should be elderly to him. The man should be elderly. The both of them should be seniors to him. You understand? Why didn't you even respect the age? You are telling them, can you? So such a person he can even walk his earthly father out of the house, walk his mother out of the house, walk his spiritual father. Such a person, because of anger, he can do all manner of nonsense things. Pride. It's pride. He's speaking from a place of pride. Who are you to come and talk to me? Why is this man putting his mouth in my matter? Why is this? He's not big enough to talk to me, but you are saying he's your spiritual father. Then you better go and look for another spiritual father. Because if the man cannot talk to you, then there's no need for that father and son relationship. There's no need. And he made such statements rebuking the authority of his spiritual father. It should not be like that. When you see such things from people in the church, rebuking the pastor, rebuking the leaders of the church, you should know that